Good morning. And I would like to give a round of applause to all the parents whose kids are here today, because I know how hard that is. It's so great to have you guys here. Did you guys have a good Christmas? Did you have a good Christmas? You got everything you wanted? It was really awesome? Kinda, sorta? You know, sometimes a couple days after Christmas, we end up finding ourselves feeling maybe a little disappointed. You know, Christmas is an exciting time, whether you're this size or this size. You too. You see me up there? You see you too? Awesome. But Christmas can be a little bit of a letdown, right? Sometimes we feel a little disappointed after a couple of days. Maybe that toy we really wanted, that we waited for weeks for. You did. A toy robot that sings. That sounds amazing. Oh, really? That sounds awesome. That's where you... Super cool. Oh my goodness. I want to come to your house. Can I come see it? I want to come play with it. That sounds great. Sounds awesome. Well, you know, sometimes we end up a few days after Christmas, though, and maybe that toy was really what we wanted. But as we start playing with it, maybe we think it wasn't that exciting. It's a bouncy thing. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I want to talk a little bit just for a minute. I know. It's okay. You guys are beautiful, and I'm glad you're here. Awesome. Well, anyway, talking a little bit about the baby Jesus. Because sometimes we think about this time of year can be hard whether you're little or whether you're big. And hold on just a minute. Let me finish, and then it'll be your turn, okay? Anyway, but think about baby Jesus, not just recently, but all the way back to that very first Christmas morning. Let's think about that baby for a minute. And it's his first full day on earth. And he opens his little eyes and he looks around. And he goes, "What smells so bad? Where am I? This is a barn. And there's dirt and it's cold and there's animals. And there's a cow standing over him chewing his cud and he's drooling on his head." Did you know that cows drool? Did you know that cows drool? They do. It's kind of gross. That's awesome. You guys are beautiful. Yep.
It's a cross! It is a cross!
Let me finish my story, okay? We'll take turns. Anyway, so he's laying there, and he opens his eyes on that very first Christmas morning, and he says, "Really? A barn? This is all I get?" And he looks at Mary, and he looks at Joseph, and he goes, "Come on, you knew I was special, right? That angel that came to talk to you and told you I was special, and I'm in a barn." Do you think maybe he was a little disappointed? I bet he was. What's really interesting, I know you guys probably aren't able to read the Bible just yet, you guys, but the Bible is, I'm glad to hear that. Awesome. That's nice. Well, in that Bible, did you know that they capture the entire story of Jesus' life? Hold on. These guys were going to be here all day. Anyway, and in the Bible, right, we read about Jesus' life from the very beginning all the way to the very end. And what's really interesting is that nowhere in there does it mention, and I don't think anywhere in the Bible, correct me if I'm wrong, where you hear Jesus complaining. You don't hear him talking about that disappointment. And as we think about it, so he was born in a barn, kind of a bummer. There are a lot of complaining people in the Bible, but Jesus is not one of them. That's what's the difference. He didn't.
I brought everybody in here.
You did. Excellent. Well, we don't hear about it. So you know what? I have no doubt. I think you're right. I think Jesus, he was a teenager for a little while on earth, so I have no doubt there was a little complaining going on here and there. I think you're right. But the people who, thank you, the people who wrote the Bible, they didn't include that. They didn't include any of the complaining. Okay. I want to hear about that after, okay? Because you're cute as a button, that's why. You are a button. I noticed. In any event, I think that the people who wrote the Bible didn't bother to put the complaining in because the bottom line just wasn't important, right? Complaining's not important. And I think the Bible is intended for us to look at Jesus and look at the stories and use them as an example and follow them. And I think if we look at the baby Jesus, in just a few minutes, Noreen and I are going to be reading this morning's passages from the Gospel of Luke, but the very last line, those are flowers. I know, good job. So the very last line in this passage we're going to hear tomorrow is that, in a few minutes, is... I'm okay. I should have just had more coffee, that's all. You gonna help me? Me first. The child grew and became strong, filled with wisdom, and the favor of God was upon him. And I love that because they're talking about the baby Jesus, because he's just been born. But what's really wonderful is that in spite of the fact that he was born in a barn, he didn't let that get in his way. And so what I want you guys to think about is, even if you were a little disappointed, don't let your beginnings get in the way of your endings.
I have a lot.
I'm so glad. And I think that means we're done.